Greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. How is everyone today? So good, I hope. Are you ready to get artsy? I sure am. So, hey, good morning, Sue and Vicky and Penny and Keely. How is everyone? I have so much to blab about. Hey, Valerie. So if you are new here, yes, do like Vicky says and say good morning from wherever you are. I love to just know where people are from. That's just kind of a fun thing. No particular reason, just my own curiosity and sense of fun. So I have a couple of announcements to make. So today at noon Mountain Time, I will be doing a Facebook Live on Adorn It's Facebook page called Stitch It with Adorn It. And I will be debuting my brand new State Flower Stitch Club today at noon Mountain Standard Time. And we're going to be debuting the new hey Lori. Lori's all the way from Canada, the Great White North. My brand new State Flower Stitch Club. I know, say that 5 times fast. Anyway, these are all smaller versions of my, well, it's smaller, but it's also, I've done state collages with all of the high points of those, well, a lot of the high points, I should say, of those states. But now I did a series of state flowers. So today is Tennessee, Alaska, California, and Alabama. So those we'll do. I'm going to do a stitch along and, you know, slow stitching and chatting today. So that'll be fun. Look at these gorgeous colors. I can hardly wait to break into that. Don't forget that this Saturday is a Facebook group, Keely. But I don't know that, I mean, it's pretty easy to get into, I will say. I believe it is a Facebook group. So don't forget, this Saturday is Wordsmith Art, where we'll be playing with lots of artsy layers and mid-century modern trees, a whole bunch of those, and a fun tip-in with something new added. So anyway, I can't wait to registration is still open for that. So I would love to see you there. We'll have ourselves a time, as we always do. What else do I have to tell you about? The greatest thing in the world, flowers. Look at this bouquet I picked yesterday, just from the flowers in my yard. Good morning, Carm. Are you home safe and sound? Carmen was just on a little trip, and now she's home, I hope. Okay, so I have zinnias. Come on, how beautiful are they? And the Gerber daisy. And look at these California poppies. Look at them. Are they just the work of art? They're so delicate and so beautiful. The petals are just like tissue paper. They're so beautiful. But look at this. Look at that. It's so pretty. So I want you to really look at these flowers this morning. And then, you know, good old, why can't I remember its name? Ay, ay, ay. Hey, Laura. Hi, Tammy. How are you? Good morning, good morning, good morning. I know, those poppies are so pretty, aren't they? Geraniums. Sorry. Took me a minute. Okay, so geranium. So just remember these flowers, and I'll bring them back into the picture because we're going to play with them. Thank you, Tam. Okay, so hey, Tammy Duran's, where are you watching from? I'm always curious where everybody's from. Susan Shane, where are you watching from? I'm always curious about that. Okay, so today in my Instagram post, and I believe that I posted it on Facebook too, I said that we are going to be playing with layers in our art journal today. And so, oh, Oregon. Nice. You're up in Tammy's neck of the woods. Tammy Duran's is in Oregon. Tammy Verbarnzi is in Idaho. Good morning, Linda McGee. She's just from across town. Anyway, if you're brand new here, if you would follow, like, and subscribe to Ann Corbiere-Scott Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, I would greatly appreciate that. And then ask to join our private Facebook group, Let's Get Artsy with Ann Corbiere-Scott. It's the greatest creative community you'll ever be a part of. Everyone is so kind and super creative, and you know, we just have ourselves a time. Good morning, Barbara. Okay, so I want you to get out your art journal. And I want you to open to a 2-page spread. Do you have 2 clean pages? Hey, Katie from Georgia. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so I have this idea bopping around in my head. And so I thought, well, why not do it with my artsy friends? So I am taking my butterfly stamp from Unity. I loved drawing this butterfly. I loved lettering the sentiments because they mean something to me. I will just tell you, that's part of the Pisces problem with me, is that everything has meaning. Everything has meaning. And so, you are free to fly. I can't think of a better sentiment that I would want to tell all of you and myself in our art journals. You're free to fly. There's no, just know that it doesn't have to be a work of art. You just have to kind of like work out all of your feelings as we're creating, right? But what I did was I stamped my butterfly just on a piece of copy paper because I want to incorporate it in this layout. But I don't know how far we'll get today because it's lots of layers. But that's okay because we're going to come right back and do some more next week, right? So I've been thinking about all the different things that ways that I like to layer, right? I like stamping, and I like a little bit of collage, and I like a little bit of free writing. And a painty surface. I like to move watery colors around. So let's just get started with that. So I'm going to take a waterproof black pen, and I'm going to just fill my background with some free writing. So, you don't have to do a 2-page collage. I just thought it would be fun because we haven't done that in a while. I don't know that we've done it at all. Good morning, Michelle Simmons. So you're back from your trip. How was it? Oh my gosh, I bet you had yourself such a time. So I'm just going to fill my background with "You are free to fly." You fill your background with whatever kind of just speaks to you. And I'm just doing some kind of messy writing. Very loose. So now we're going to start. This is 2 layers, right? We've got our base layer that has either stripes, either ruled pages or grid pages. And then we've our second, oh, absolutely. Let's make you a album on this page of artsy inspiration, Michelle's artsy inspiration. I'll do that right after class today, and then you can load them as you feel free, as you're able, I should say. You are free to fly. So, for the observant ones in this group, I teased something on Sunday, or maybe it was on Monday, about our birthday celebration at Corbiere-Scott Designs. This coming Sunday, on May Day, there will be you know what, Michelle? And then I'll make an album of Puerto Rico, too. So then we can just start. And I know Keely has some photos from Florida. We will just start. Remember I talked about all artists have reference files. All artists have reference files. And so we will just start our own reference file right here in our group. We're free to fly. You are free to fly. You are. Remember that as we create these layers, nothing is so precious that you need to preserve it just the way it is, right? The secret about layers is that we want just little bits and pieces to peek through, right? And there's something magical that happens when we write this message to ourselves, whatever your message is to yourself. Right? Seems like I was saying something else there for a minute, and who knows where it's going. It'll come back around. Or if somebody wants to remind me, I'm never offended by that, because I know my brain. Everybody have a big water. So now I have this whole list of layers that I want to do. So I think I want to start with some color. So I've been thinking that I really want to do some. I want to do like blues and purples. I'm just feeling that today. So and maybe some greens. So I'm going to activate my watercolors, right? Some blues. I think I might have a little bit of pink in there that I kind of been playing with. Some green. Because my my idea is so I'm going to take a big brush today, and I think I'm going to do wet on wet today. So I'm going to wet this first, and what I think is cool is that ink is going to bleed, not my writing, the ink of the page. Do you see how it's kind of turning blue? I kind of dig that, right? So I'm going to do half the page, get it nice and wet, and then I'm going to come in and start to just fill with colors. I think I'm gonna do the bottom half of my page. So that I can just really randomly put those colors down. Like I said, don't do anything with any precision. Just get some colors down. Let's come back with some of that purple, some of that blue. Okay, let's get some of that pink. Look at how pretty that is. And you see, like, it's very random. I did put some deli paper behind my page so that my color doesn't bleed through. I mean, it'll bleed through to the back of this page. I know, I'm only doing one page. Whatever. I'll do the other one later. I don't have enough space to do the 2 pages. Well, now I'm going to come in with some green. I realized that I don't have enough camera space to do 2 pages. So I'm just randomly putting some of this green down. I'm doing this shade of green, kind of the lighter of the olive greens that are in my palette. And then I'm going to come in with this darker shade and just splotch it on there. And it's gonna get wrinkly. Just don't use too much pressure and you'll be fine. Some can be dark, some can be light. Promise, this is just a layer, right? So now I'm going to dry this layer. And it's going to take a while and it's going to be wrinkly. Sorry everybody if you started out with a 2-page spread. I will do the other page. I ran out of space. Sorry about that. So now we have so now this is our 3rd layer, right? We have whatever our base page is. We have our loose writing, and we have our free writing, and then we have our paint, right? So now let's start thinking about what we can do next, where we can go next. And remember I told you that this bouquet of flowers that's our muse today. Oh, mine is wet, wet, wet. How about yours? Oh my gosh, look at it. It's so wet that it went through the it went through the deli paper too. That's okay. And it just means I have a start to something else. So remember a couple days ago we were talking about that article that I had read about outdoorsiness, and that you can find small moments of nature, like watching birds out your window. And didn't I tell you that I got this new I got this new hummingbird feeder, and it was I got sucked in to one of those Instagram ads, you know. I'm sure it came from China, but it's just kind of cool, and we have lots of hummingbirds here, and so I was like, well, let's put it up. Let's order one. So I ordered one for my mom and dad and one for me because they like to watch birds too. So it's kind of a hexagon or maybe an octagon shape, and it's red, and it has like the top is just covered in holes for hummingbirds to come through. I mean, how amazing is that? Look at this, so wet. Ay. Anyway, so Jeff made some hummingbird food and hung up our other hummingbird feeder that had fallen in a big wind. And then he hung up the new one. Not one stinking hummingbird. I guess they just haven't figured out that it's there. I don't know. I mean, I suppose eventually they'll find it and they'll want to play in it and realize that there's some food in there. But seriously, I couldn't believe it. I've been watching it all week. Nothing. I'm trying to dry this. That's the key, is, you know, drying in between each layer. So don't be in too much of a hurry. Just take your time. Anyway, when I was thinking about, isn't it interesting, as I was thinking about that topic that we were talking about finding little pockets of nature, you know, that just kind of fill your day. And one of them was to care for your plants. And so I was caring for my flowers, and that's when I realized, like, I hadn't picked a bouquet yet this year. And so I was just in awe of these gorgeousness flowers. And so I picked my first bouquet. Okay, so now, bouquet. So now let's move our paints until we feel like we might need them again, but I don't know. So now I'm thinking, let's do some, what if we do some stenciling? So I have this stencil that is kind of cool, and I don't even know where I got it or who made it, or I don't know. Oh, that's a good idea. We always have lots of hummingbirds in our front yard. Nothing. Maybe I should have hung it in the backyard. Who knows? Anyway, I thought, let's do a layer with Distress inks. You can do this with whatever you have. Don't feel like you have to do what I have. So I'm going to start with this Salty Ocean. That'll go with my... and this is not... I don't want you to feel like it has to be... in any particular order or in any particular way. I'm just kind of loosely doing the color on the color, right? But maybe every now and again I'll just do blue on a pink. Come on, how cute is that? I'm really digging that. Okay, so let's take that off. Let's pick another color. Let's pick pink. And like I said, there's no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. I just want more layers. Layers and layers and layers. This stencil is just cool because I have I have 3 patterns on one stencil, so that's kind of fun. Look at that. Oh, I'm loving it. Loving it, loving it, loving it. I just like to put my... I'll probably have to replace this tape, but this is... I will just tell you, this has been like the greatest organizational thing. And guess who I learned it from? Tessa Reed, that's right. Okay, so now let's do some purple. And I'm feeling like... Oh, it looks like somebody new joined us. Who just joined us? Hey, Gretchen. I'm just using regular distress, Tammy, but you can absolutely use whatever you've got. Do you know what I mean? Get some of this wilted violet. Need some more of these circles. I just really am digging those. Look at how pretty that is. So, and if you don't have to do the exact, I know, doesn't it? It's a nice juxtaposition. The circles with the grid paper. I love it. Okay, you know what? I feel like I want to do a little bit of green that I hadn't gotten out. So I'm going to use peeled paint on the green. And as I was stenciling with everything else, I was like, oh, look at this. This kind of looks like, well, it looks like a couple of things. I'm going to have it just look a little bit like some organic-y leaves. But what tree has those, Keely? It's a Midwesty tree. Those things that flutter down. Oh, is it? Oh my gosh, we used to just rub them between our fingers and they would just float down to the ground like a parachute guy. That's what we used to do. Is that oak? I don't know. This. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I will take your word for it that it's maple. I don't know. I just think they're so pretty. It's just a really pretty shape. Let's do that on the green. Which doesn't really matter because we're going to be covering it all up anyway, right? I just thought that was kind of a fun thing to do. Now, let's see. Put our peeled paint back. I need to put my wilted violet back. All right, so now we have lots of colors on there. Hey, Carol. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're right. Oaks have acorns. You're right. Hey, Melody. How are you this morning? So today we are just all about layers, aren't we? Everybody take a drink. I'm feeling like I want to do, yes. Yes, Gretchen. Helicopters. Because didn't you do this with them? And they went all the way to the ground. I love that. So now I'm feeling like I want to do a little bit of bubble wrap. So I have two kinds of bubble wrap here. I have the big bubbles and the littler bubbles. And so I think I'm going to start with well, maybe I'll start with the bigger ones. Kind of emulates this a little bit. And I'm thinking I'm just going to use, I don't know. Maybe I'll just use a little bit of my Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White. So I'm just going to take, let's find a flat brush. And I'm just going to paint over some of these bubbles. Nothing in any particular order, or I'm just kind of getting some paint on there. I just want another layer of visual interest, you know what I mean? So let's see what happens when we just smush that down. Oh, look at that. Digging that. And let's do it until all the paint comes off. Right? Very cool. I love that. I love that. Now, I wonder if I should do the little bubbles. Let's do it the same way. Get some of our Bleed Proof White on there. Let's see what happens. Not as distinct. I wonder if I peeled it up too quickly. Oh well. All right, let's wash that brush and put the cap on there. I just like that I added a little bit of white there. All right, so let's let that dry. While we're letting that dry, let me read to you today's excerpt from the Comfort Book. So I read this yesterday during my stitch along, but let's read it today. The best thing about rock bottom is the rock part. You discovered the solid bit of you, the bit that can't be broken down further, the thing that you might sentimentally call a soul. At our lowest, we find the solid ground of our foundation, and we can build ourselves anew. Come on, how amazing is that? And here he lists 10 books that helped his mind. So you can check those out. I thought those were amazing. But now it's words. At the university, doing my master's degree in English literature, I continually felt stupid. And the reason for this was that I had chosen a module called Critical Theory. This involved reading a lot of French postmodern and post-structuralist philosophy, which even when translated into English contained so many apparently deliberately and playfully obscure sentences that I had to stare at each one for about a half an hour to even begin to fathom it. In particular, I studied just enough to know that there is always a gap between the signifier and the signified. The word dog is not a dog. The word water is not water. A painting of a pipe is not a pipe. TV footage of a war is not a war. On the whole, these theories came across as really complicated and obtuse ways to state the depressingly obvious. We are always grasping after a meaning we can never quite reach. But when I became ill, they took on a broader meaning. I felt like a walking signifier, signifying a person I could never quite be. There was a gap between what I looked like and what I felt like. And the only way to bridge that gap was by by talking and writing about what was going on inside me. And yes, in the philosophical sense, words are never quite the thing they describe, but they are also their use. They can help externalize internal things. The moment we try and turn a thought into words, we place it into a shared world. This shared world we call language. Once we take our personal unseen experiences and make them seen, we help others and even ourselves to understand what we are going through. What we say aloud can never quite capture what we feel inside, but that is almost the point. Words don't capture, they release. Isn't that a good one? And isn't that kind of what we're doing right here? Words are helping us release whatever is kind of going on inside of us, right? Okay, I think we're dry. And now I'm thinking, what do I want to do for my next layer? I really feel like I want to do some like deliberate water spots. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to take my paper towel and I'm just going to take this flat brush because it just happens to be here. And on the darkest bits, I'm just going to deliberately drip some water. Right? So I have dark bits of purples and greens, and I'm going to let that just kind of percolate a little bit. This is going to give me a little bit more visual interest. I'm going to let it sit there. I'm going to take a big drink. Exactly. It absolutely helps to have lots of lots of artsy options. That's why I wrote this whole long list of different things that I wanted to, different techniques I wanted to have at my disposal. Do you know what I mean? So that I could, whatever kind of felt like it would work next. So it's no set order, right? Okay, let's try to get some of this water up and see if we left it on there long enough. Yes, exactly, Keely. Little bits are coming up. All right. I feel like I want to do a little bit of mark making maybe, because I'm feeling like it needs some black. So I'm going to do exactly what Keely was just talking about, and I'm going to go to my mark making catalog and look at what I have there that might work on here. And if you're new here, then you can go back into our video archives and watch the video where we created the mark making catalog. So to do that, you're going to go underneath in Corbiere-Scott Designs. There's a whole line of choices, right? Posts, photo, I don't know, post something, 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 something. At the very end of that line, it says more. Click on more, and the pull down tab will show you, it says photos and videos. Go to videos, and then you'll have access to all those past videos. All of those art journaling episodes and card making episodes and artist study series episodes that we've done in the past. Like this I'm just feeling like it needs something. It's feeling dark to me. Like I want something light, and I don't know where I want to go with that. I was hoping the water spots would help, but they don't seem to have done what I wanted. So I'm going to take my Posca pen and shake it up, and remember, just always prime that pen on a piece of scratch something or other. And I'm going to look in my catalog of mark making and see what just kind of speaks to me. There we go. I really like, I love this one. And remember, I have 2 sets of these because I had like so many mark making things I wanted to play with. There we go. Oops. Oh, I like this. So let's do that. So I'm gonna do these kind of rectangle-y things. I'm gonna let that sit. Because I'm a little bit wet. I didn't realize I'm a little bit wet still. Yeah, I need to take a minute to dry this. And then come back in. That's helping, but I feel like, I don't know. Hey Jennifer, how are you? So now I'm going to come back in with my Posca pen and do a little bit more. Then let's do a little bit of this. Like this really needs to be brightened up down here, or up here. Hey Denise, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. How are you today? That grandbaby of yours, holy smokes, is he cute. Kind of digging that. This is helping a lot, I think. Brightening it up. I'm liking that. I think I'm going to dry everything one more time. Oh my gosh. How delightful. What a delightful way to spend your day, Denise. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. I totally get it. I feel like I want to do some more mark making. So I think I'm going to take some of my Dr. P.H. Martin's and my flat brush. Just get a little bit of that. I'm trying to kind of mix that up a little bit. And I'm going to do some, there we go, that kind of mark making. And it can go overlap what you've already got down. It can be in a new spot. Right? Nothing's too precious. Just like think of your composition as a whole and where you want, well, that's a big one. I'm kind of just putting it everywhere, a little bit everywhere. I'm loving that. I'm loving that. Like I just feel like it just, I don't know, adds a little something. It's a little, looking a little brighter and springier, I think. Okay, so I know we're getting close on time, but I just want to talk to you about what my next layer is, and then we will continue working on this next week in our art journaling episode. Well, anyway, next week we'll have one day that's art journaling. So, I want you to think about these flowers, and then I want you to take a Sharpie and just start to sketch them. Don't get too hung up on the perfection of your flowers. They're going to be beautiful no matter what you do, right? So I'm going to do a little bit of poppies. They look like this yellow one only has 4 petals. So I'm just kind of, and you see there, I'm being very loose. Hold your pen up kind of high and you'll be loose too. And we're just going to fill it with flowers. We're going to fill our whole page with flowers. So you're just going to kind of sketch them out first. Nothing, like I said, it doesn't matter if it looks exactly like the flower. I just want you to use that as your muse. right? And do another one kind of like that first one, or this one. Okay, now let's do a daisy. The Gerber daisy has so many long, skinny petals. And the crazy thing is, it has like multiple layers of long, skinny petals. So that's why I'm saying I want you to really look at the flowers. Really look at that daisy. Do you see how it had, like, these aren't all the same and perfectly, right? Perfectly, absolutely the same. They're different. Each one is a little bit, some are bent, some are straight, some are, right? And there's layers of them. So just, but we're just sketching them. I don't want anybody to feel like they have to draw perfect flowers. That's not what this exercise is about anyway. It's kind of about just letting loose, right? Let's see, do I have a little bit of room for this poppy? Look at that center. So we have a little X in the center, and then we have these. But do you see, like, this is just a messy version. I don't want anybody feeling like it has to, because this is a funky, abstracty art journal entry, right? I'm not looking to create the world's most fabulous flowers, right? I just want to just relax and embrace this process, right? Just fill your space with flowers. There we go. Please, what if we do this? I just keep looking at these flowers. I'll put it back up there so you can see. I mean, I just want you to use that as a base. It doesn't have, they don't have to be exactly that. They're just using it as a inspiration, right? A reference. It's just nice to have a little escape in the world, isn't there? I mean, there's so much crazy going on in the world. It's nice for us to just have this moment of peace. I will take a picture of these and post it if you're feeling like you'd like that as a reference. Now I feel like I want to go around these petals just in a little bit more sketchy manner. That's what I'm feeling. Can I tell you how much I'm loving my background? I hope you are loving your background too. So I'm deliberately not doing the exact same petal shape. I'm just kind of loosely outlining it. Nothing, it's just going to create a little bit better contrast. Kath, happy birthday! Oh my gosh, that's so awesome, Kath. You know what? I was so into my flowers, I didn't look up and see all the blabbing that's been happening. I know a Sharpie is just, you'll have so much fun with it. Kath, I'm so happy that you got some fresh flowers that you can use as a focal point. You just want it to be an inspiration. Don't feel like you have to get the flower exactly the way it is in real life, right? It's never going to be exactly the way it is in real life. Your human hand is creating that, right? So just be gentle with yourselves. And remember, this is all about the process. It's not about creating a masterpiece. Nothing is so precious. Like, I love that little by little, I see my words, "You are free to fly," just little bits and pieces popping through. I just love that. Hey Maureen, how are you? We are just playing with layers today. So at this point, I'm just going to continue to just do my sketchy layer of Sharpie, but then I'm not going to work on this again until next week when we get together again. So I want everybody to just work this far, and then next week we'll do some more. Okay? We'll do even more layers. Can you imagine it? How many layers did we do today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we have 7 layers today. 7 layers. How amazing is that? But like I said, we're just, this is as far as we're going to go today. We're just going to sketch out our flowers. And then we will work on them again next week. I'm so excited about that. I kind of like the idea of us having a page that we're doing kind of in stages. I kind of dig that. All right. So I think I'm ready to stop and just let this percolate for about a week. So meet me back here next week. Remember, we will have new artwork, so much new artwork next week. I can hardly wait to share it all with you. And if you have not already done this page, just gather all the Sharpies that you have and just make some stripes. And then so I made horizontal stripes. I just filled my whole page with horizontal stripes. And then I did some vertical stripes with just my black pen. So work on that if you're feeling like you want to create something. Don't forget that Sunday is May Day. It is Joni's birthday. It is Anne Corbiere-Scott Designs art birthday. It's our second birthday. Tuesday is Keely Polly's birthday. And so Sunday we will have a special pop-in paint party for my birthday celebration. I can hardly wait to share with you. It'll be 9 o'clock like always on Sunday morning right here on this same Anne Corbiere-Scott Designs page. And I have something so cool for us to play with. So do your work on your highlighter page and finish your... It's Kylie's 30... Really? That's so cool. Oh, there's nothing like a new mattress though, Vicky. It's the greatest. And you know what? It'll be available on the replays no matter what, right? So just remember to fill your page with flowers, sketchy flowers, and then I will see you with this next week. Probably Thursday will be art journaling day. Tuesday will be card making day. And meet me on Sunday for sure. Wordsmith Art is still available for registration. If you are brand new here, please follow and like Anne Corbiere-Scott Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And then ask to join our private Facebook group, Let's Get Artsy with Anne Corbiere-Scott. What was the other thing I was just going to say? Oh, and remember, today at noon Mountain Standard Time, I will be on Adorn It's Stitch It Facebook page. So join me there because we are going to have ourselves a time. We're just going to slow stitch and have easy conversation. I adore you all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Sorry, I need to drink more water. Thanks so much, everybody. I'll see you soon. Bye.